At Hospital Porter's Pride and Dignity, stop the New World Order. Welcome to Hapanwo TV. I know you. I don't know if you can see this. All right. I've got my eyes are adjusted to the dark. I've got it on night shot. This is absolutely beautiful here. The light from North Oxford is now casting on the river in big pools. My eyes are adjusted. There's some two lights there from the railway, and it's all reflected in the river, which is smooth as glass. It's actually very beautiful here at night. Never been here before at night. I mean, this is kind of I'm sort of walking through the countryside. I'm walking through these remote places, these peaceful places, a bit like Slaxer, you know. It's another sort of Slaxer type video. Just to zoom in there, see, that's that big blob of light there. It's kind of I suppose you call it a Slaxer noir. Slaxer at night time. The rain stopped now. It's still overcast with cloud, but the lights of Oxford are casting up on the clouds. Very lovely. I just passed Bossom's boatyard, which is over there, which you probably can't see. Feeling a bit paranoid actually. I heard some voices just after I stopped filming. When I got over the side of the bridge and I walked up the path a bit, I heard some voices, and they were like loud voices, and I ran and I hid. I hid some bushes and they went past me, and they were just a bunch of young guys, students or something, and I just sort of like they were saying, "Oh, I really don't like it here. I hate this wet country. Paths all covered in mud." They may be on their way to the Perch where I'm going. But I mean, I just thought I'm getting a bit paranoid now. It has occurred to me actually, and it's occurred to Ellis as well, that it may not actually, you know, what goes on at that church may actually be completely a human activity, and it may be something completely harmless. What it may be is it may be some kind of college fraternity. Now, every university has its fraternities. Now, some of these are dark and sinister entities, which I'm a bit dubious about, like Skull and Bones, Phi Beta Kappa, etc. And others are just kind of like harmless ones. They just do silly things. You know, some of them put cones on the heads of the statues at the Sheldonian Theatre. With these big statues, they put traffic cones on the heads, things like that. They do daft things, and they're not in any way dangerous, and it could be one of those that is actually doing this St. Frideswide night celebration, but we shall see. At any rate, I'm almost at the footpath now, which leads to Binsey, and that over there, can you see the light? That's Binsey, and that glow there is the pub. I'm quite early actually, but I'm going to pop in there and have a pint and keep my head down though, and not talk to too many people about what I'm doing, or anyone about what I'm doing, and see what happens. I should say a little bit more about St. Frideswide, because St. Frideswide was said to be very beautiful, and she became a nun at the St. Frideswide Priory. Now I don't know if you remember my little trip around Godstone Nunnery. Well, it seems like Rosamond the Fair and St. Frideswide were very, very similar people, except Rosamond the Fair lived about 600 years after St. Frideswide. But Frideswide was pursued by King Algar of Mercia, who was desperate to marry her, and he was really, he had it bad, I'll tell you. He's like me, I've been like that sometimes with a girl. He was absolutely smitten, and she put a spell on him, which is very, very interesting, because she was both a nun, a Christian nun, and she was she was some kind of magician. That's lovely. I don't know if you can hear this, but I can hear the sound of geese and ducks chattering on the meadow on the other side of the river. Beautiful night, actually. As I was saying, she was some kind of wizard or witch, a she wizard. This is very interesting because, I mean, she, of course, was Anglo-Saxon, and of course, the Anglo-Saxon culture was what occupied England in the early Middle Ages, what was now England. Now, you hear the word Anglo-Saxon an awful lot, and it's very often misused. People talk about our Anglo-Saxon world, the Anglo-Saxon world, referring to the British Empire, which is an absolute monstrous falsehood. You know, disgusting irony, actually, to that. The Anglo-Saxon culture, because actually was destroyed, actually, after the Norman conquest. It was virtually destroyed. Now, you see, we have Anglo-Saxon. I talk about our Anglo-Saxon ancestors, and some of you will say, well, Ben, you're a Welsh boy. You don't have any Anglo-Saxon ancestors. You're a Celt. Well, see, the thing is, we all have Anglo-Saxon ancestors. I mean, this is the thing. We use these words. We use the word Celtic to describe places like Scotland and Wales in the same way, and it's really not very accurate. The only thing that really links to people call themselves Celts, well, we all have Celtic ancestry too, you see, whether you're English, Welsh or Scots or whatever. And geneticists have been very, very hard pushed to find any racial difference at all between the people of Scotland, the people of Wales and the people of England. There's a slight difference between people living on the eastern half of Great Britain to those on the west. That's the only difference they can find. It's very superficial in the deep mitochondrial DNA. We also, you know, what makes, I suppose, what we call the Celtic nations is they have Celtic languages. The Welsh language and Gaelic is Celtic. It's descended from the Celtic languages that were spoken here in the first millennium BC. English is, of course, derived from Anglo-Saxon, the Anglo-Saxon language, which is a Germanic language, which is wrongly called Old English, but it's so different from modern English, it's almost unbelievable. I mean, this is a big subject. I'll go into it in more detail, but in summary, what I'm saying is that we all of us have Anglo-Saxon ancestors, and I am coming over to the idea that the Anglo-Saxons were actually a pre-Illuminati or extra-Illuminati culture, at least before they were converted to Christianity. I've said this before in my video about Rendlesham Forest, Sutton Hoo, this ancient site. It's shamanic, which means that the Roman conquest didn't completely consolidate Illuminati rule in Britain. The Norman conquest did. It's a big subject, we'll go into it later. Anyway, I have to get to the pub and have a drink. I'm going to have a drink and meet up with my friend, my companion, who's... I didn't know, actually, until today. I've only just met him. I met him, I just spoke to him on the phone earlier, and I've not really met... I met him very briefly earlier today. So he's coming with me. But he is someone I can trust. He's a mutual friend. He's a friend of Ellis's. And any friend of Ellis is a friend of mine. Ellis, as I said, I'm indebted to Ellis Taylor for his help in this operation I'm carrying out at the moment, this mission that I'm on tonight. Heard more noises. So, yeah, when I'm in the pub, what I'll do is I don't have my face makeup on at the moment. In other words, a felt tip pen. I'll put that on when I leave the pub tonight, when I head to the church. And I can put it on thick. I'll put it on much, much thicker, and it'll very much black up my face. I'll put some on my hands as well, so I'll be very, very well camouflaged against the night, like a ninja. Well, right, I'm going to sign off now, and the next time I film will probably be when I'm on my way to the church, or going into the church. Hospital Porters, Pride and Dignity, stop the New World Order.